Hello friend, welcome back to PowerStroke Maintenance. Today I'm going to be doing my monthly truck update. So this update is for September, and I'm going to talk about the miles I've driven, the maintenance I've done, any modifications that I've made. So those three things, miles, maintenance, modifications, we're going to cover real quick. So let us get into it. So we're going to hop in and look at the miles, and I honestly forget what the miles were at on the last time that I'd driven. So what we're at today is 114,533 miles. Since my last update, I think I did 112,000 miles was the last update. So I've only really driven like 2,500 miles, and it's been mostly around town, around Denver. And you know, nothing really abnormal to report. I was having the steering issue, which is now fixed because it was my track bar. The top bushing that attaches to the frame the rubber was super worn. I mean, it was the original track bar and had 114,000 on it, and it's not like they build them super high quality, so that was kind of a normal thing. In terms of the maintenance that I've done in the last few thousand miles, I just did a tire rotation and I changed the oil. I went about 8,000 miles without changing my oil, which I was a little sketched out about because I like to do 5,000 mile intervals, but I was just on the road for an entire month and I didn't bring my oil pan and I didn't really want to have to ship oil. And so I just changed the oil as soon as I got back to Denver from New England from my trip. I don't know, that was the main thing though I was like tweaking out about. I was like, I need to change my oil stat. So I also greased my front end. I now have greasable ball joints. So when I'm doing greasing, I'm doing the front axle U-joints, I'm doing my ball joints, greasing those every time I do an oil change. And I'm doing my sway bar end links because those are also greasable. So I just check to make sure, give them one pump of grease, make sure there's fresh grease in there, make sure everything's working properly. Usually do a little bit of a front end inspection when I do an oil change. And then obviously, like I said before, I did a tire rotation and the wear on my tires has really evened out. So swapping them to the opposite sides of the vehicle because they're bi-directional actually fixed the weird wear pattern that I was getting. And so I'm just doing my tire rotations myself now and kind of getting them to wear back to kind of a normal flat rounded surface, which is awesome. For modifications that I've done, I think the big one that everybody probably already saw the video for was the track bar install. So that kind of, I guess, could be modifications, but I went out and spent the $500 and got the PMF 0 to 4.5 inch lift adjustable track bar. So you can put them on your truck at stock ride height. You just have to make sure you torque the adjuster bolts to make sure that they're cinched so there's no like thread bang and you strip out the threads. Yeah, that track bar is amazing. The truck drives super well now. It's just very tight feeling. The front end doesn't have that sloppy feel. I mean, obviously it's a solid axle truck, so it's not going to steer as tight as like something with independent front suspension, but PMF track bar or the Carly track bar are amazing upgrades, even if you're not doing a lift, just because of how poor the quality is of the joints on the OEM track bar. So that's going to do it for modifications. I don't really have anything else to note. I have lots planned, but I'm trying to kind of taper off the spending on truck parts at least for a little bit and just do essential stuff. But gonna be doing another road trip in the next couple months back east again, and I'm also driving to Utah in a month to shoot at Red Bull Rampage, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a pretty crazy mountain biking event. You could just type in Red Bull Rampage here on YouTube and you'll be kind of seeing what I'm going to be shooting, but I'll be taking the truck out into the desert and going to this crazy event. So that will be a big road trip. That's driving Denver all the way down to like St. George, Utah, which is like 2 hours from Las Vegas. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of miles, a lot of driving. We'll see what else breaks. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful to you. If you have any questions about the modifications or the maintenance I do on this truck, feel free to drop a comment below. I'm happy to help out. That's the whole goal of this channel, is, you know, try to get this truck as many miles as I can on it while also helping fellow owners who, you know, are dealing with the same problems I am. So let me know, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.